Good morning and welcome back. I feel like my hair is a bit of a mess today. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do about that. But I'm happy to be playing Flesh and Blood again. Um, yeah, quick recap from last night's Armory for anybody who is interested. The Armory was a blast. There were only 6 people that showed up, so it was a smaller crowd than normal. Um, but at least it's still firing. There have been some weeks that we don't fire at all, which is frustrating. But we got 6 people to play. It was classic constructed. I was playing my CC deck. You can find that by hitting exclamation point CC deck in the chat, and you'll get a link to the full deck list. I have AB3 in the sideboard. I was prepped. There's some local players that play Acilio and Verdance. The Acilio player wasn't there, and the Verdance player decided to play Tough Nut. So none of the 6 players there were playing any kind of Arcane, which means I wasted some sideboard slots, but I also don't have great matchups into Verdance, so I'm kind of lucky I dodged that. Um, so I had a few wasted sideboard slots, but that's okay. Round 1, I played against a good friend of mine. He was on Pleiades. He's made a few edits to the Armory deck, but not a ton. He's got a lot of his legendaries that he just has lying around. Some of his generic legendaries, like Fandel Spring Tunic, that he slotted into the deck. So he definitely has plenty of good upgrades. He has a playset of Command and Conquers, but he hasn't really done a ton of testing with it. He has been playing a lot of Flesh and Blood recently. He's had other adult things to deal with. So played against him round 1, and my understanding of how Guardians play and my practice has paid off. I took a sizable life total lead in the early game by giving all my armor against some attacks that he had dominated using Terror Sunder. I didn't want to get hit. I didn't want to have to discard 2 cards, so I was happy to give my fridge both times to stop the Terror Sunder trigger and keep me in. This also meant I had a sizable life lead against him that he never was able to claw back. Shortly after that, I started throwing a few disruptive attacks here and there, taking cards from his hand, and he was never able to play big attacks afterwards. By the time he was playing big attacks, they didn't have on hits that were relevant enough to me. I was able to give up some life in order to close the door on him. I think I ended the game around 24 life, and every point of life that I lost was calculated. I knew what I was giving up. It was a good game, and my friend learned a lot, but based on how the few early turns went, it didn't end up being all that close of a game. This game, Flesh and Blood, the game really can be decided in the first few turns, even if you don't see it, even if the game doesn't end until 10 turns later. A few mistakes early on can end up costing you in really big ways, because you only have 3 copies of a card at most, and if you use 2 or 3 of those cards in an inefficient way, and they're power cards that you really need later, you can't get them back. Not without something like Remembrance. So round 2, I play against another local who is also playing Pleiades. So I played against 2 Pleiades in 2 rounds. The second Pleiades has made a ton of changes to his deck. I would love to get a copy of his deck list and maybe even try it out on Talishar, because the deck is really, really cool. He's playing tons of Suspense Auras, the one that gains 3 life when it leaves. He's playing that. There was one turn in particular where he absolutely bodied me because he blocked with a couple cards, and then on his turn, he was able to play a 0-cost aura and a 1-cost aura. The 1-cost aura was reduced in price. Yeah, he just played a couple of auras out and passed, left me stranded with 4 cards in hand, two of the cards in hand were test of strength. So I had two red block cards in hand that I wasn't able to use because he was able to say, "Oh, I'm just going to skip this turn, take a setup turn." The way he did that a couple different times. That one was particularly painful because I had the two block cards. Um, yeah, he was able to do on turn, off turn shenanigans quite a bit. He also got really lucky with the clashes. He won the majority of the clashes. I spent so much gold trying to reclash to get wins, and most of the times when I reclashed, I still lost. That shouldn't happen. Pleiades has a lot of misses in her deck, and yeah, things just didn't work out for me, which happens. Which happens. So the game was a grind. It went super late, and my opponent had a turn where I gave him a quicken because I had to use my civic steps in order to survive. I think I was down to 2 life or something after my blocks with civic steps. Just back and forth. I was hoping he wouldn't be able to make use of the quicken. The next turn, he plays Spinal Crush with Go Again, 1 card in hand, and I just know he's going to throw Hammer afterwards. So because of that, I block with my Civic Steps for the second time, just to eat up some extra damage. And he does then swing Hammer afterwards. The Hammer eats up the Quicken, uses his next Go Again. I have to block down, leaves me with 1 card. The 1 card it left me with was Pummel. I put Pummel in Arsenal, passed it back. He was not able to kill me on the following turn. I was able to keep 2 blues in hand, 1 blue to throw Hammer, the other one to pummel the Hammer. And he blocked as if I didn't have the Pummel. Because if he overblocked, I just don't use the Pummel, and we just keep playing that game. He had to take the gamble. It didn't pay off, and I was able to close it out. But it was a very, very narrow game. We were both super low on life. Absolute blast. I want to check out that deck list. Yeah, that Pleiades deck did a lot of really good things. It was running lots of D-Reacts, because 4-block D-Reacts are just really good. Into me, he had Staunch Response, which definitely paid off. Got some huge block value with those. Round 3. Round 3, I am the only person who is 2-0 at this point. There are 3 other players who are 1-1. One player who is 0-2. And my Pleiades opponent, who is also 1-1, dropped. So the 0-2 player got the bye, and then there were 3 1-1s and me. So last round I played against a Tough Nut who was 1-1. I expected the game to be a little bit grindy, so I brought in 1 copy of Remembrance. I figured if I could play 4 or 5 copies of Visit Goldmane Estate instead of just 3, it would be really difficult for him to fatigue me. And I was correct, though I wasn't correct that he was on a fatigue plan. He was on a go-wide, aggressive Tough Nut build with Rock. His goal was to every turn say 6 Go Again into Rock. And he was really good at that. The amount of vigor you create means when you pitch a yellow off the top, you can still throw Rock. And then he also has Fandal Spring Tunic, which means every 3rd turn, if he pitches a yellow off the top, he can throw Rock. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. It was very tough. Rock is absolutely insane value. I went way behind on life in the early rounds, in the early turns, and was able to slowly claw my way back as I played copies 3, 4, and 5 of Visit Goldmane Estate. I did not get to play the 6th one. I had to block with the 6th one in order to make sure that I could survive and throw back a Golden Sun for lethal. Yeah, I also had to play, I think I played 2 or 3 of my Golden Suns. So, it was good. It was good. Really fun night with my friends. I did check with everyone, and none of my locals are going to this weekend's ProQuest. This weekend's ProQuest is almost 3 hours away. And that's a long way to drive for a ProQuest. I really want to go to this ProQuest, but 3 hours is just a little bit too much. I don't think I will be making that trip alone. If I had someone to go with me, someone to chat in the car with, there and back, that would make a huge difference. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to ProQuest this weekend. However, next weekend, there's a ProQuest that's like 45 minutes away, and everyone's going to be at. So I'm going to keep practicing, keep getting games in, but I will have more time for Silver Age content this week. So that'll probably be my plan for tomorrow. I'll probably get a bunch of Silver Age games in. I've actually been looking at my Silver Age deck this morning. I'm just going through. I did a search for all rares that are legal in Victor, looking for something. Looking for something that's a little bit more powerful than my deck, which is currently Commoner plus Clash of Might. Yeah, I haven't found anything yet. I went through all the reds. Now I'm looking at the yellows. I'm looking for something good. Wage Gold is something I should consider. Yeah, I should pull up red Wage Gold and throw that in the maybe board. I mean, it's a 3-for-7 that encourages the opponent to block. That's usually what Victor wants to do. I don't have the aggro plan of Pecked Perfect in Silver Age, so... And I'm into the blues now. Crash Down the Gates is interesting, because I'm on a Clash heavy build. I could try and mill my opponents more. Lean into the mill plan of Miller's Grindstone. This is kind of an attack that's a Miller's Grindstone. Right? It's... If it hits, destroy the top card of their deck. That's pretty much what my thing says. But it's only a block 2, which isn't what Victor's about. Obviously, I can afford to have some block 2s, so Crash Down the Gates is definitely a consideration. If anyone has other ideas, let me know. I would love to hear some Silver Age, Brewing, yeah, Potion of Ironhide, Potion of Luck, a lot of silly stuff here. Try and stack Potion of Strengths. That could be cute. Potion of Strength is not a bad card, with stuff like Thump and Concuss, which I do have. I could see a turn where I block out and leave this as my only card in hand, play it out, and pass. Maybe in certain matchups. In other matchups that are looking to block, because they can't use all 4 or 5 cards on offense. I don't know. Well, it's first thing in the morning. I'm sitting at my desk, so my nose is deciding to run. I don't know why it does it, but it does it almost every morning. Just like a flushing the system. Yeah. Potion of Strength would be a very funny sideboard. I kind of like the idea of it. Makes me laugh. What else have we got? Potion of Strength and Time Snap Potion, anybody? Huh? We could pop both of them. Have 2 Potion of Strengths, 1 Time Snap. And then have a turn where we go Concuss for 8 power into Concuss with 8 power. That'd be kind of wild. That would be kind of wild. Ooh, Tectonic Instability is a rare? If I remember correctly, this card is crazy good. Each hero puts a card from their arsenal onto the bottom of their deck. If they do, they draw a card. Create a Seismic Surge token equal to the number of cards drawn this way. So, makes 2 Seismic Surge and gets rid of your opponent's arsenal. It also gets rid of your arsenal and draws you a card. So this could be a really cute way for me to clear heave cards from my arsenal, right? I could heave a card one turn, use Tectonic Instability the next to get it out of my arsenal, draw a new card. This is definitely meant for Valda. I'm looking at it, makes me kind of want to build Valda in Silver Age. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, back to Wage Gold. All right, let's look at... Let's go ahead and put Wage Gold into the maybe board. That's definitely a card that I should consider. Yeah, I could be giving my opponents gold, but it being a 7 attack... is a really awkward breakpoint. It does kind of demand armor if they want to get the gold instead of me getting it. I think that's really cool. It being universal is very relevant because my gauntlets can only buff he can only buff guardian attack actions. Alright, so I'm going to throw this into the maybe. I'm not ready to add yellows, more yellows. I've got Yellow Thunk, Yellow Clash of Might, Yellow Clash of Vigor, which is already a lot of yellows. Man, I wish I could have Golden Sun. I wish I could have specializations. That would make such a big difference. But, oh well. I don't have very many misses in the deck because I don't have Visit Goldmane Estate. That's another specialization I would like to have in the Silver Age deck. But no luck. So I have Zealous Belting for a source of Go again. Yeah. And I do need some amount of Go again. I played against an Enigma the other day, and it was just so brutal. I had no chance of ever getting damage through. Yeah. Yeah, Enigma was a bad matchup in CC, and it continues to be one in here. Alright. Alright. We got someone here for competitive. Ooh, Arachne Huntsman. I actually have a sideboard for that. It's not much. I'm fat stacking a little bit. I'm running Remembrance. Not running Pummel. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, shoot. My bad. My bad. I accidentally clicked leave instead of join. That was a mistake. I'm getting a phone call that might be spam. Oh, they hung up, so it was almost certainly spam. Okay. Alright, we're just going to host my own game. And I'm not looking for anything in particular at this point. More games. Ooh, KO. KO. I'm pretty sure I want to go second into KO. We'll throw my KO list up. Titan's Fist over Miller's Grindstone is one change. Other cards. I've cut most of my Clash cards. I've cut a Trounce. I cut both my Test of Iron Grips. And I've brought in Pummels, which are very important as a way to get some damage through. I guess those just were already in. Yeah. I don't remember what other changes off the top of my head, but Keeping most cards in the deck, bringing in pummels because they're good. I think I may have had Remembrance in there. I shouldn't. I shouldn't have Remembrance in this matchup. It doesn't block, and there's no way KO lets you get to second cycle unless you somehow mill all of their... That's a decent little setup. Man, I don't have anything here that I want to Arsenal. That's so frustrating. Alright. Make a Seismic Surge, attack for 8. We'll make do with that. Okay, they don't want the on-hit. They gave me a bunch of armor. I see a Blood Rush Bellow in my future. Can I get some sick Clash cards? Nope. I got a Pummel to block 2. This is going to be a rough turn. I am fully prepared to give as much armor as needed. 7 go again. Yikes. It doesn't have an on-hit, so I know I'm going to be taking damage here. I do need to save some cards for on-hits. I am willing to block with everything but Pummel, Arsenal, Pummel, and Pass. And just give them another grip of cards. But this is definitely painful. Oh my god, Scab Skins to get 2 action points? I wouldn't be surprised if they pop Savage Sash here. Oh, okay, that's a card I'm happy to see. I can throw a couple cards on that, bring that from a 10 power down to an 8 power. That's really good. That's good value. I know they have another action point after this. That's fine. I'm hoping that they don't disrupt me too much with their last attack. I'm guessing they only have one more attack. They've got 1 resource floating. Yeah, they should only have 1 more attack. Bare Fangs. Another attack 10. Good lord. I thought about using Civic Steps. I clearly should have used Civic Steps on the previous attack. Just was not paying close attention. You know what? I'm going to take 10. I'll have my armor for the next Blood Rush Bellow turn. That might have a relevant on-hit. They didn't pop Savage Sash. That's scary. That's super scary. If they do draw into another Blood Rush Bellow, I would expect them to Arsenal it and not play it. Because Blood Rush Bellow is at its best when you have a 5-card hand, not a 4-card hand. And so hopefully we can get them with a Pummel. Okay, they're just going for it. Yep. Yep. Good lord. Okay, block 3. Probably going to Staunch Response and block with Spinal Crush on one of the bigger attacks here. I also want to get Civic Steps value at some point. Oh, they're claiming this is their last attack, I feel like. 11. Okay, so if I Staunch Response for 7 and then give 2 pieces of armor. But this is their... Yeah, this is their last attack. I mean, I'd be getting a Quicken. I mean, I'm not planning on doing anything with it. 7, 8, 9, 10. Getting a Quicken is nice. I might be able to make something with it. I'm gonna try. Opponent is out of action points. Okay. We're gonna block like that. We are really far behind on life, but we have a Quicken. And we're gonna hope that they don't have their 3rd Blood Rush Bellow 3 turns in a row. Okay, they rolled Scab Skins, they didn't get what they wanted. Let's hope we can survive. Bare Fangs. Pitch Cast Phones to play Bare Fangs. What? Why wouldn't you play Cast Bones here? What am I missing? What on earth am I missing? So, block with a couple pieces of armor to make sure I can get value off of it in the future. But yeah, I'm keeping this full hand. And I'm going to swing hammer into Boulder Drop with Pummel. I fully expect them to ignore this. But that's 4 go again. We're going to go ahead and make a Seismic Surge. We're going to throw the Boulder Drop. This is telegraphing Pummel incredibly hard. But based on their last turn, I can't imagine they can do anything about it. Scowling Fleshbag doesn't do anything here. If they had used that on the hammer, that could have punished me. They didn't. Yep. We'll go for the Pummel. Yep. You can discard and then put a card from hand on top of your deck. Okay, they discarded the Beast Within. Yep, so they end up with still having 3 cards. That's scary! Oh boy. Oh boy. Wild Ride. 7 go again. They're not going to be able to make use of this Quicken if I give it to them. Taking 5 here seems wrong. But I can't. Yep, I'm going to take 5. That is the current plan. Take 5, hope they don't throw an attack 11 here after this. Seems unlikely. They might pass the turn just to keep that Quicken. I wouldn't blame them. Nope. Alright, I've got to block this one. It's just too good a value whenever I can actually shrink its power by 2. It's just too good. That's the second one they've shown me. Oof. Because of the way that works out, I can only attack for 3. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. Yeah, this isn't a good matchup. I have survived 2 Blood Rush Bellows, and I still have some equipment. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have the third one here. Buckwild from Arsenal. Okay. I don't have anything good to put the Pummel onto this turn. I think I'm happy enough. Blocking with a couple cards, planning to block with a couple more. Nope, that's fine. CNC. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really care about swinging Hammerback this turn. I'll just give you my cards and we'll move on. Okay. Got some decent defensive cards here. That's 6. Okay, we'll block 3, 4. Aren't going to be able to make use of this Quicken unless they give up on 3 points of damage from Mandible Claw, which I would think is a fine trade. Hey, we even won both clashes. Talk about value. I'll leak a couple points of damage. Yep. 3 go again. Not going to be able to follow this up with anything. Very awkward. Very awkward. I don't have a way to use this Pummel. And I don't want to have Staunch Response in hand. I guess I can pitch Staunch Response to play the Goldmane Estate and then play E-Strike. No, I'm going to be playing that off of Golden Sun. Ooh, I guess E-Strike put it on the bottom. Maybe I draw into something good? I don't know. I can't keep taking points of damage here in order to make my hand a little bit better. I'm so low on life. Not exactly sure how I'm going to make this back up, but we will try something. I've got a mite here, which is nice. Ooh, okay. So if I play this other one, then I can't play E-Strike. So I'm just stuck with a card in hand. I really want to play it. Taking an off turn just doesn't feel worth it. I'm trying to think of a way around it, but the staunch response is just super awkward because of how I chose to block last turn. And I've got a pummel rotting in my arsenal. I could throw hammer and then pummel it. That would get the cards out of my hand. But I'm better off just using the E-Strike, right? I really, really want to play this. It just makes so many mites for my following turn. I'm not disrupting him, which really sucks, but I do have the staunch response, which can block for a lot. Looks like I'm probably just going to use it to block 7 here. I think that makes sense. Pitching the last visit, unfortunately. But I want to keep these available so that I can swing hammer for that extra 1 point of value. I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot of other chances to deal damage this turn, or this game. Another Buck Wild with Go Again. That's scary. Oh, they're breaking the chain, activating gauntlets. Okay. Yikes. Using Cast Bones to do it. I'm just really surprised to see them not playing out Cast Bones. Has 6 Go Again, but I'm just going to block 3 of it. I'm so low on life. Like, I'm going to hit him like a truck here, but it's not going to be enough. This is barely going to catch me up. Yeah, they're giving me armor. They are getting no value out of their Scowling Flesh Bag, or only 2 points of value out of their Flesh Bag, which is honestly pretty bad. Oh, the Blood Rush. If they didn't have it this turn, it would have had to be literally on the bottom of their deck. And they discarded the Beast Within. Dang, that's good. Yeah, being able to throw Golden Sun could end this game, but I'm not going to get the chance to. Yeah, I don't know how I could possibly survive this turn. I just don't have enough block value. Just don't have enough block value. Yep, that's all the block I can muster. If I'd gotten him a little bit lower on life... Yeah. At least I won't die to these triggers. Okay. Network error occurred. I'm pretty sure I took the damage and died. Yeah. It's a bad matchup. That's okay. That was a lot of fun. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we can get. Puffin. Okay. Puffin. Pretty sure I want my normal armor. I think I want Test of Iron Grips and Trounce. I definitely can lose clashes here. I don't think I want Pummel, Zealous Belting. Staunch Response is worth considering, because I know Puffin tries to do some big attacks sometimes. Like Palantir Aeronaut is really strong. To be fair, the Clash of Bravado doesn't do much. Doesn't do anything against her. Let's try cutting a couple Clash of Bravados and bringing in the Staunch Response. That's a lot of whiffs, though. Like, that's just asking to lose clashes. I think I can get more value off of my clashes than I can off of a Staunch Response. Like, Staunch Response is guaranteed value, but you're also risking losing value on your trounces, and these have such big upside. So they chose who goes first, and I think they chose to go first here, immediately starting with the poly. Okay. Well, I guess I know what my turn's gonna be. Just kill poly and pass. Which sucks. I mean, hopefully I can draw into an E-strike so I can do more than one thing. But okay, well, I'm glad they're attacking. Can get an extra, start the game with an extra gold, hopefully. 2 extra golds. Okay. That's super nice. That's a lot of gold to start the game with. I'll block as many things they want to attack with. Yep. I'd like to keep the Golden Suns in my deck if I could. This is just going to be 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't boost. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. Okay. Block 6. I would like to not take damage, please. Okay, they're going to Arsenal. 3 life, but 3 gold instead of 1. Dang. I can heave this Thunderquake. So I can make a Seismic Surge, throw Hammer, heave Thunderquake, keep Golden Sun in hand. I don't think I want to keep Golden Sun in hand. So we're gonna overpitch just to get it out of hand. Kill the poly. Heave Thunderquake. Wow, lots of copper cogs. One was played from Arsenal. Where did the other one get played from? Oh, resolved the crank ability of Puffin, so drew a card. That makes sense. Four, go again, boosting away the Cogworks Zeppelin. No on-hits that I have to worry about. Yeah. Block 3, take 1. We're just playing value here. Just playing simple value game. If they want to draw an extra card every turn, that's fine. They have the downside of running a lot of things that don't attack, and they've got all these copper cogs that don't do anything. Ooh, banish the Jolly Bludger. That's great news for me. Block another 3, take 1. Attack for 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and block with my Peck Perfect. I want to get Thunderquake out of my arsenal as soon as possible, so we'll do that. Alright, coming in for 8. I would have preferred to attack with Peck Perfect for 9 as opposed to Thunderquake for 8, but I don't want to have a dead arsenal. That just feels so bad. It just feels so bad. So we'll see what we can do. You know, I did streaming 3 or 4 years ago, and I feel like my voice has changed quite a bit. If I just relax and talk, it's like this low, almost gravelly nonsense. Ooh, Test of Iron Grip. But I think I should be focusing and making sure that don't sound like a dying person. I don't know. Put a little bit more of a smile in my voice and keep going. Still happy to see a Jolly Bludger gone. Okay, sure, you got a 1 cost 5 go again. You're just eating your deck alive when you do this, opponent. Block 4 and Clash. Take a card from your hand. I'd like to keep the other card so that I can Spinal Crush. I think Spinal Crush is really good here. Discarded the Cogwork Zeppelin. Sure. Palantir Aeronaut. Alright, the defending hero must defend this with an equipment they control if able. And you have the cogs to do all the things. Destroy a defending card. Well, if they're going to destroy a card from me, I'm going to have them destroy my Civic Steps. I think I can just take the rest. Yeah, you can pump that up. You can take away my last 1 point of value from, or I guess all 3 points of value from Civic Steps. That's okay. I'll take 9. I'll take 9. You're not going to actually have that Quicken, believe it or not. It looks like you're going to have a Quicken, but you're not going to have a Quicken. Pop that, and we're going to give you a little Spinal Crush. Just a little Spinal Crush. If you want to make use of that Quicken, you can block for 6. Now, I can't do that against Palantir Aeronaut every time. I just can't. It's looking like 3 blocks so far, or 4 block, 5 block? Not quite enough. If this is a block 3. It could be, I think they have the 2 block that gets +1 or +2 by eating golden cogs. Yeah. They buff it to 5. Repeat, buff it to 6. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, you've got go again on your first attack. What's it gonna be? I think it should be Spitfire, to be honest. I actually think it should just be Spitfire. Boom Grenade, here we go. Alright, they have a 4-card hand. They've got go again on their first attack. I am prepared to block. I've got the Test of Strength. Man, I do really need it to not be Visit Goldmane Estate on top of my deck. Yeah, that is exactly what I wanted. I expected them to do. I need to keep a blue. I'm going to block with Peck Perfect. Man, I hate losing all these Peck Perfects. They seem so good. Maybe this isn't the matchup for him, because this is kind of like a Dash IO matchup, where I'm just trying to survive. Two go again. Oh, I shouldn't have blocked the Spitfire. Oh, that was such a big mistake. That was such a big mistake. I need to start giving some armor here if I'm going to have a chance of denying this boom grenade. Oh, man. I completely forgot about that. Come on, throw an attack 6. Throw an attack 4. Give me something good to use this test of strength on. Perfect. Thank you. That's what I wanted. Attack 4. Dang it. I wanted it to not be Visit Goldmane Estate. We got the win. Just barely. Just barely. Yikes. Now we've got a 5? Yep. I'll give you 5. And we somehow got out of that turn without taking a hit. So Swing Hammer, Arsenal, E-Strike, or just send the E-Strike? I think I'm going to send the Hammer and Arsenal the E-Strike. They don't actually have ways to disrupt Arsenal, I don't think. Also, the Miller's Grindstone on-hit is very relevant. It's a very relevant on-hit. If they're boosting, they could easily get rid of their entire deck. They've somehow only boosted 3 times, which seems hard to believe. So maybe I can't treat it like Dash IO and let them boost themselves to death. Maybe I actually have to kill them. We'll see. We'll see what they're able to do. They don't have the big setup, the item card setup that Dash IO does. I'm not, gonna see any Teklo Pounders or anything this game. So I don't know how this is gonna work out. Alright, opponent. Would you like to block? 3 pieces of armor. You got it. That one makes a golden cog. Ooh, 2 test of strengths. Alright, they clearly have a good hand. Right? Cog in the machine, putting cog in the machine on the bottom. That's pretty good. Tap a cog you control, gets +1 or go again. So they have 2 cogs. Oh, they can... So I do need to treat this as a 7. Yeah. I need to treat this as a 7. They don't have other ways of giving it go again. I'm just going to use both my test of strengths. I win both of them, and this shouldn't... Oh, they have an extra action point. I didn't look at that. I should have treated it as 7. That was a mistake. Let's hope I don't get too punished. I immediately get punished. That's okay. That's okay. This doesn't have an on-hit, so I can just block 3 and be fine with that. I've got a boulder drop on top of my deck that I'm going to be able to throw. They're about to lose all their cogs. I could draw 2 cards instead of 1, and then I can throw boulder drop and and E-Strike. Or I could play Command and Conquer and E-Strike. I'm not expecting him to have D-Rex, but on hit versus on crush is a big deal. I'm going to go with the Boulder Drop. It's more damage outright, and we're in a pretty close life total race. It's still going to demand a card. It doesn't leave me with a Seismic Surge, but I'm not expecting that Seismic Surge to do much for me. I am proud of that realization, that I could use Riches of Tropaldani to get an extra 5 damage if I didn't make a Seismic Surge and instead activated the gold. That was a good realization. I am slowly getting more willing to use Riches as a Pot of Greed instead of a build my board state larger, which is what I usually want to do with it. Opponent does nothing on their turn, which is fine. Oh, they are doing something. That is preferable. They're probably going to send Spitfire after this. I'm planning on just... Oh, they're not going to have a card for the Command and Conquer, so I guess my goal... If I block 3, ignore the Spitfire, then I can send Spinal. Yeah, let's take 1 and 3. This is fine. Yep. Yep. Drop down to 23. Congratulations. You're catching up on life. And we're going to send Spinal. We want to keep disrupting them. We want to maintain tempo. Give up a little bit of life there in order to maintain tempo. The longer I can maintain tempo, the more likely I'm going to find my Visit Goldmane estates. I put one of them on the bottom off of a Clash, but the other 2 are still in this deck, and I have 6 gold on the board right now. 5 gold tokens and my shield. They just took 9? That can't be correct. Boom Grenade, crank, give your action point back. That's fine. Like, you can crank a bunch and get your action points back, but not having go again seems like a problem. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mechanologist just doesn't care. Yeah? Yeah, looks like you just don't care. You're gonna be able to make some things. Yep, I'm gonna take 9 here. I don't like it, but I've got this Goldmane estate I want to make use of. I want to make it so the destroy effect of this doesn't do very much. I'm down to 10, but my opponent's down to 13, right? So... Hang on. So if I play this, I go down to 1 resource floating. Right? I could draw a card off of this Thunk. If I'm going to draw a card, let's just do it now. Yeah. Yeah. $14 mites, and we're going to go ahead and 10 overpower, and next turn I've got 14 mites. They can and probably should just take this down to 3, because if they can't take all the cards from my hand next turn, they're kind of screwed. Yeah, and they agree. Oh my god, perfect timing, Test of Iron Grip. Perfect timing. Okay. Because, yeah, I just need to stunt their turn. Even if all I'm doing is throwing hammer, I win. So I've got 10 points of block in hand, 3 points of block on field. So they need to send 24 damage in order to kill me. 23 damage? Yeah, 23 damage to kill me. I don't think they can do 23 damage in one turn. I really and truly don't. The last copy of Palantir could mess with that. That could really mess with that. So, but they don't. This doesn't have a way to get go again. So this will always be the last card they play, and they don't have a card in Arsenal. So if I time my Test of Iron Grip correctly, I can rip the Palantir Aeronaut out of their hand, or the resources they need to play the Palantir Aeronaut. Teklo Foundry. No, we'll give them some time. Banish the top 2 cards of your deck. For each Mechanologist card, gain a resource. Activate only if you've boosted this turn. Okay, so they need a way to boost. We already drew a card off Hightail. So we're not going to draw another card. You have 2 cards in hand. Palantir costs 2, so twice per turn, this gets +1. When it hits here, you may tap a cog. If you do, create a golden cog. Creating the golden cog will grant you the new action point. So if I can stop this from hitting, which is currently an attack for 8, then it can't have go again. Now, I get that I'm not blocking with Test of Iron Grip. Like I said, all I have to do is swing with Hammer and I should win. They're at 3 life. Okay. They probably had 2 action points, didn't they? Oh well. Well, yes, I would like to reclash and target myself. And make them discard their Jolly Bludger. Which they were going to be able to play off of activating Teklo. Yep. Yep. I will take the 3. And I will kill you. Hammer for 19! Hammer for 19! Yep. Last card in hand is a no block, I assume. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Visit Goldmane Estate. Doing some crazy stuff again. That was awesome. That was awesome. And Test of Iron Grip. Test of Iron Grip is still insane value. And yeah, by holding it just a little bit later, I was able to mess with their turn. They would have much rather discarded the attack 4 rather than the Jolly Bludger, because Jolly Bludger represents more damage, it steals tokens. It still wouldn't have been enough to kill me, but there are situations where that will make a difference. So... really, competitive Lyeth? I'll go first. I don't think it matters. I'm winning all my clashes against them, so I can just bring that in. I don't need Remembrance, I'm milling them out anyway. Staunch Response is really good. Like, I don't think I need it. Okay, threw that in the wrong order. Not a big deal. Let's make my Seismic Surge. Swing Hammer. Arsenal the Peck Perfect. Oh, I guess I'm going to have another card to Arsenal after this, so... They can activate Lyeth, get their Might. Makes it a little bit easier for them to block this. Yep. Blocking 4. Minimizing the cards they're blocking with because they're worried about fatigue. Oh, I'm not drawing a card, right. Okay. Well, I have 3 Mites and 3 gold tokens, and it's my opponent's turn 1. I think I'm doing okay. I can get aggressive with the Golden Sun, which isn't a bad idea. I know that Reviled Heroes have payoffs for having more life than the opponent. So getting that life lead early could matter. They have a card that if you have more life and it attacks, you get booed. Definitely a bigger deal for RKO than for Underhanded Cheat, but I assume it's still relevant here. So, you know, Little Bigfoot, you got it. Attack 8. No go again, no nothing, just 8. I have a Peck Perfect I'd like to block with, or like to be able to throw. Yeah, Clash of Bravado isn't getting value, but Golden Sun is just too good in the late game. Okay. I'm happy to Arsenal Enlightened Strike on my turn. That seems good. Okay, and now we're going to kindly ask my opponent, would you like to lose the life total lead? Or would you like to get a lot of your deck milled? Because we're coming in for 12 Peck Perfect. Oh, man. Steadfast, okay. That's a way around it. Take 6. Okay. That's pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie. I do have a free E-Strike ready for the future. What is that? What is this? When it enters your arena, you may, if you have a card in your pitch zone with cost 3 or greater, which you do, draw a card. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, gain a life for each expensive thing. So this is... Are they trying to fatigue? I feel like they're trying to fatigue. I can't imagine them being able to fatigue when all their cards block for half value. Like, they have Steadfast, that's full value, right? They're going to have other stuff like that, I'm sure. Plenty of life gain, plenty of damage prevention. But their Titan's Fist is smaller, all their attacks are smaller. When this defends, you may put an attack action card from your graveyard on top of your deck. That's... Yeah, you had the might, so... Wall of Meat and Muscle. I was looking at this card earlier for... for Silver Age. So, interesting to see it now in my opponent's Lyeth deck. It makes sense in Lyeth. It won't ever get... So it's always blocking for 2. Alright, we got 2 extra cards out of their deck. I guess we're playing Fatigue here. We'll see what they can do. I can throw Cranial Crush. I really want to play Peck Perfect. Like, every time I see it, I want to play Peck Perfect. Maybe I should save my Peck Perfects for times whenever I'm buffing it with Goldmane Estate. To really make my opponent choose? I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go ahead and just throw Peck Perfect and keep the Trounce. So I'm keeping the Trounce because Peck Perfect makes it so that my opponent doesn't want to block with cards. And if they don't block with cards, then they're going to be attacking. If they're attacking, I want to have a Clash card. I've already seen 1 Clash card in the top few cards of the deck, so hopefully we don't draw into too much others. Yep, they kept their full hand. We will skip the Arsenal. Well, we end up finding a second Trounce. That shouldn't be too bad. If they're able to do a wild setup turn and not attack, then yeah. Alright, if you have 2 or more cards in your pitch zone with cost 3 or greater, which you do, your hero gains +1 intellect. Alright, attack action cards effects don't trigger. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy it. I mean, my opponent's cooking something up. They are cooking something up. This is wild. Okay, I don't have an on-hit. Yellow Steadfast. My opponent is definitely playing towards Fatigue, it feels like. But they have to kill me, right? They can't just survive against me. Not against me. Against other heroes maybe, but not against me. You have to deal damage. I have a hammer too. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy Embolden. The next Guardian attack gets +3. So yeah, they're doing another setup turn. Okay. I don't want both Trounces close to each other when I'm pitch stacking, so I'm kind of forced to hold this one a little bit longer. I pitched the other one last turn. Yeah, they're setting up for a big attack. Alright, it's going to get +8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh no, these aren't going to trigger. They both have 2 counters on them. Or that's one of them with 2 counters on it. Oh, they're going to remove the counter. So you're going to have 4, 4, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you're going to play an attack with +13. I mean, sure. I'm ahead on life by more than 13. You don't have confidence. So I can block with my whole hand here. You can give Dominate. Yeah, you can give Dominate. And this is... They discard their hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I cannot stop this. That's pretty cool. I don't see a reason to give a bunch of armor, since I'm not going to get this anyway. I will go ahead and block with Trounce. No, I don't need to win this clash. Yep. That's pretty good, opponent. That's pretty good. The only thing that the trounce was going to get me was a vigor that I could use to remake Seismic Surge for a following turn, which doesn't matter much when my next planned attack is the Spinal Crush. But that was a lot of work, a lot of setup for not much payoff. I feel like they got a time walk out of it, which is good, I guess, but I think just blocking 3 is fine. I'll go ahead and block with some armor. Minimize how much damage I'm taking. They've got an interesting deck. I'm not going to lie. They are ahead on cards in deck. They are ahead on life, which is very unexpected for this point in the game. They've used up their boots, though, so they can't do that dominate trick again. Oof. Oof. Overturn the results. What an annoyance. Of course, I can, overturn the results myself. Okay, Oasis Respite and Steadfast. Alright. That blocks all the damage, I think. But took 4 cards from them? Is that right? That cost 3, that cost 1. I think so. Yeah, 2 cards in pitch, 2 cards used. Okay, there's a Goldmane estate. I kind of want to wait. Now that I see how... Yeah, winner creates a might token. So this is going to eat up a gold if I block it. Whenever a card defends this. Yeah, I would like to save the damage, but it's going to cost me a gold to do so. I'm going to take the 3 here. And that does mean it makes more sense to start using this. I want to save it for a later cycle, but... Okay, intimidating me is unlikely to matter. Yep, in fact, it did not matter. I think I'm happy enough throwing Boulder, Disable. I'm going to have a Boulder drop in hand at the end anyway. That I'm going to want to Arsenal. So... Oh, man. I don't quite have enough to activate Crater Fist and throw Boulder Drop. Yeah, I am going to throw this. It's still 7. I'm going to have this in hand instead of a blue. The only way this really punishes me is if I draw an all-red hand now. But I think that's something I can live with. They've got leave the crowd hanging, but it's going to be hard to make good use of that. Good use of the +4 after I throw a Boulder drop for 13. They're going to have a hard time to stop that on hit. So I'm probably going to get the crush effect and just get through with a bunch of damage, which will help even out the life total, is my guess. I do kind of expect them to use their whole hand and cards and stuff to... Yeah. They're blocking everything. That is what I expected, because they're wanting to set up for a bigger turn on the Leave Them Hanging turn. So they're going to leave me with a full grip of cards. Wow, all my Boulder drops are here, just hanging out. Yeah. Yep, we will overpitch to get an extra card out of my hand. Oh, I should have made a Seismic Surge. Why didn't I make a Seismic Surge? A Seismic Surge would let this yellow thunk throw the boulder drop. I should definitely have a Seismic Surge here. Let's see what my opponent has to deal with this. They say no blocks. Okay. They will just bottom one card and say, I'm a 4 intellect hero that has a leave them hanging triggering. I think I'm okay with that. Okay, Sadistic Scowl for an extra damage. Another Sadistic Scowl? Alright. On hit, discard their hand. Well, yeah, it's super fucking big. I will block with my 2 cards from hand. This has me taking 11 down to 10. I'm definitely blocking with Crater Fist. I think I will block... No, just Crater Fist. I'll block like that. There's a possibility I use Crater Fist in the coming turns. So... Yeah, if I had... No, Seismic Surge wouldn't help. Yeah, I'm just going to be throwing 7. My opponent has the life lead. They've gotten some good plays there. Cut a long story short, does not play well with Intimidate. I'm sorry, opponent. I think that's just a little sketch. With how thin their deck is, the overturn the results are getting more likely to happen. Yep, you have a might. You get to put an attack back on top of your deck. They choose Little Bigfoot. I assume red Little Bigfoot. Yep. And prevent all the damage. Alright, Swing Hammer. That's fine by me. Block 4. Spinal Crush it is. I've got one more Visit Goldmane Estate in the deck, and I'm really counting on it closing out the game. I don't like these reds that are just clogging up my hand. I think this is not a situation I'm used to being in, where my opponent just lets me have all these cards. It's something I need to get better at. And overpitching is probably the right answer, so I can just draw more cards. Yeah, this hand is terrible. Like, I can make a Seismic Surge and throw this Spinal Crush. But I kind of want to just throw the Spinal Crush and leave that in hand. Again, trying to split these Trounces and Tests of Strengths up so I don't have multiples in a row. At least as much as possible. Drawing those cards on separate turns is much more powerful. At least that's my normal go-to against a go-wide deck. I'm not playing against a go-wide deck. I'm against this funky go-tall, skip-turn, very weird deck. Who has the life total lead and has the deck lead. I don't know how long they can continue to do this. That's yet to be seen. But, like, on this next turn, if all they do is, yeah, play out stuff like this and then not attack. Okay, they are playing Little Bigfoot. Thank God. 4, 7, take 2. That's fine. Let's clash. Awesome. I will draw the card. The card draw is significantly less important in this situation. Test of Iron Grip feels really bad here. My opponent is not really attacking and setting up an arsenal on the same turn. I could use Crater Fist here. I can use Crater Fist and throw my boulder drop. I think that's worth it. So yeah, it's just an attack 9. No big deal. Just a little measly attack 9. I haven't used my golden... I've blocked with 1 golden sun. I still have 2 golden suns in the deck. I need to not use those on anything but attacking. Attack for big numbers, because I need to start punching through. Overpower is going to get through for damage. Like, almost certainly. Attacking for 4, I don't really care about. My plan is E-Strike into Hammer. This would be a good turn for them to intimidate me. I think they have 1 more copy of Leave 'em Hanging. Though I only see 1 in the graveyard. Yeah? Maybe they cut the Leave Them Hangings. That seems unlikely. Yeah, if they have access to Leave Them Hanging, they should definitely play it here. I don't know if they will do that. Man, I've seen overturn the results in the pitch zone so many times this game. Hey, damage is damage. I'll take it. Kind of expect them to block this out with Rampart and a card. Yep, there it is. Pay for the Rampart. Stopping the 4. Alright, I'm evening up the deck count a little bit. We got the other riches. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. I'm probably going to have to riches to draw 2 cards. I'm really tempted to take 4, but I know that they have really, really big turns that I can't stop all the damage of. Peck Perfect is so good, but it is getting worse by the minute. And if I can use riches to make a Seismic Surge instead, really lean into one really powerful turn. Going up to 8 gold. Yep, Leave 'em Hanging is fine. Not ideal, but it's fine. I can swing Hammer, Arsenal the Golden Sun. This isn't going to pop next turn, so... I could also dig for my last Goldmane estate, which should be coming up soon. That seems risky, and I'm just going to be losing the mites that I want. So yeah, really good Leave 'em Hanging there. It took a blue that I desperately wanted. And now I have to pitch a Golden Sun and wait yet another cycle to get to it. And I don't know if I'll survive long enough to get to that one. The Golden Sun that I'm putting in Arsenal this turn will be powerful, but I don't think it's going to be enough to kill the opponent. Okay, they do have 3 cards here. They might be doing more setup, but that seems unlikely. Nope, they totally are. Playing that life gain. Putting out a mite. Okay. Send a dominate attack. I need to punch through my opponent's defenses. They're down to 11. They're probably going to gain a little bit of life on their turn. I don't know how much. Beginning of your action phase, destroy it and reveal the top 3 cards. Yeah, they're preventing a lot of damage here. Assume they block with Ram's Head 2. So they're blocking 4 and preventing 5. They're actually not taking damage from this dominate attack. And they're going to have +6. +6 on their first attack this next turn. Cost 3, cost 3, cost 3. Yep. Yikes, fix the match. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to spend a gold. Right? There's no question about that. Oh, come on. That really sucks. Gotta target the opponent so they don't get auto win. Instead, we just tie on everything. Well, and I don't get my gold back. That's rough. That's a rough way to play that. Okay, I'm down to 6 gold, so because I spent a gold there, I'm spending a gold here. And I have to spend the gold here. Like, I guess the other option is to swing hammer. Opponent is up to 14 because they gained 3 life last turn. Opponent's got a sweet deck. It's taking some time for these Lyeth decks to find their footing. No pun intended. Clash of Bravado is not getting any value, unfortunately. I'm using this just to keep my life total high. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna try and kill me in one final swoop here soon. I could have considered waiting on that until I drew Riches of Tropeldani again. That seems like a mistake. We're pretty even on deck size at the moment, which is quite surprising. I am continuing to take cards from them with Miller's Grindstone because they can't afford to get milled. I'm still a little bit behind. Just always a little bit behind. They're doing nothing. I mean, this is the time for a boulder drop. I wish I could do more. I could send Cranial Crush. That's 1 extra point of damage. Right? Game's getting a little bit laggy here. I am allowing them to block with as many cards as they would like, which is unfortunate. It's an attack 16. That's no joke. I might just be... This might swing the fatigue match in my favor. Yeah, they're taking 6. And losing all those cards. I'm putting cards back into my deck. So we're both going to have 20 cards in deck and 1 in arsenal. And they're lower on life. Is this gonna end up coming down to fatigue where I can win? This doesn't have an on hit. They're just throwing that for some damage. I'm definitely blocking with Trounce. I think I'm only blocking with Trounce. Ah! I lost both. My opponent gets a bonus might. That's so brutal. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. I guess I don't have anything better to spend gold on. I know I have a Macho Grande on top of my deck, so I can draw a card and throw Macho Grande. I might be taking their equipment here if they don't have a way to do some cheeky damage prevention like they have in the past. Alright, this is currently just Ram's Head. There's the one card that they can block with Dominate, and yeah, both pieces of equipment getting eaten up here. I think that's going to keep them at 2 instead of... Yeah. Oh, no, they're... Yeah, puts them down to 2. I don't think they should have blocked with the Tunic, considering it had the counter on it. But I guess they've got the Vigor. I don't know. And they've got 3 Mites to work with now. Oof. I've got a no block? It's only 6. That's easy for me to stop. Yep. They only have 1 resource floating. I don't have to worry about a pummel or anything here. Ooh. That's a nice little bonus gold. Love me a good bonus gold. Also, they're at 2. So this should just be lethal. Right? Like, they shouldn't have too many ways to get around this overpower. Yeah. At instant. Action, 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 action. Yeah, so they block with 2 cards and they die. Alright. What a grind. What a grind. Alright. I need to respect Lyeth a little bit more. I think bringing in Remembrance would make it so I don't have to play this game quite so carefully. Because I had to play that very carefully at the end to make sure I didn't get got. And yeah, a Terror Sunder on a bad turn or something. Yeah, there's lots of things that could have gotten me there. I don't know if I should count on that being the case. Okay, so Arachne, Slip Through the Cracks. This is a Go Again deck. I think a build similar to what I have against Syndra makes sense. Except I want the staunch responses in. I want the staunch response. Is there a 0 power that I'm happy to cut? Not really. Like, I could see going down on Trounce, maybe? I'm going to try and just run it like I run Syndra. But that might not be good. Alright, yeah, we will go again into Hammer. And Arsenal the Spinal. Spinal's very good in this matchup. I'm okay with just taking some cards from their hand here. I assume I will get all 4 cards. I might only get 3. Yep, only get 3, and we get to Clash and mill a card. A very good card. happy I got to get rid of an extra Leave No Witness. Okay, when it hits, banish the top card. If it's red, draw a card, gain a life. I like the idea of blocking with Test of Iron Grip, but it does, like, just tell them if this is going to have the correct on-hit or not, right? By clashing. It shows them what my top card is. I think I'm okay with just blocking 3. Yep, they push it over. This doesn't give an additional on-hit. That's fine. They do, in fact, banish a red, so they do draw a card. That's annoying. And we will... But it did banish a card that would have lost me a clash. So let's go ahead and block 4, 5, 6. I don't know if I'm going to need to crack that at some point in the future. But we ripped a card from their hand. Denying their arsenal when they were trying to deny ours. That's kind of poetic. And then come in for 9. Demand some cards from them. Otherwise, I turn off their hero power. And their daggers, and... yeah. Okay. There's the 6. I took some armor. Great news. And we've got a Command and Conquer for next turn. Banish the top card of their deck, look their hand, banish a card with the same color. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. Not a real good way I can play around this. They did want to make sure they had go again this turn, so I kind of don't think this is their last play. I'm gonna block like that. Yep, no reaction. And do they go for the Arsenal, or do they have another attack? They go for the Arsenal. That's good news for me. Because we are going to now try and take that Arsenal. They lost their headpiece, so they don't have Crown of Providence to bail them out. I love that for us. Love that. And what else have we got? One card. Come on, give me a second. Just 1. Okay. Take 3, lose upsticks and run. Great news for me. What's this thing's on hit? Banish the top card, then banish a card from graveyard? Maybe gain a life? Alright. I'll give you a trounce. What do you know? I win both trounces. And I know they have a Just the Nick on top of their deck. And they're playing a Just the Nick. Okay. We get in for some damage, and they take my... Oh, Test of Strength is annoying. I don't like losing that. And gaining some life back. Yeah, I don't have a way to punish them. I don't have a way to play multiple cards here. Just 1 card this turn. I guess I will Arsenal the Disable. It's the most relevant. This does kind of look like a pummel, but it's not a pummel. They're taking 10. That's... Nope, they're not taking 10. Let's clash! Huzzah! We'll mill another card from you. Who's the mill deck now, opponent? Who's the mill deck now? Ooh, Riches is great. I'll do what I can to protect that. When this hits a hero, banish the top of their deck. When it banishes a red card, draw a card, gain a life. Yeah, that's annoying. There's no correct way to block this, unfortunately. Yeah, the go again shenanigans make it just impossible to block correctly. Let's block 6. I assume they just now move to the next chain link. They got 2 cards from my hand. And now threatening my arsenal. This doesn't have go again. They can push it over, though. I like giving him a quicken here. It's cute because their first attack with stealth has go again, and both their daggers already have go again. Remembrance. Okay. Gonna Remembrance and then Arsenal. Getting the Leave No Witnesses back or something? I wonder what my opponent thinks his value cards are. It also doesn't matter when you're behind on life. Upsticks, Art of Desire, and Leave No Witness. Okay. It's a fun variety. Make a Seismic Surge. Ooh. Ooh. So I can throw Disable and Arsenal the Golden Sun, or I can just throw the Golden Sun now. I haven't found any of my visits yet. I'm gonna throw the Disable. It might take 2 cards from their hand if they want to save their arsenal. Wow, Blue Disable is looking really good right now. Really good. And their Quicken matters for naught. Because this already had go again. Alright. Gosh, if I have a blue on top and this connects, I'm going to feel terrible. Yep, they are making it connect. Yellow? Red? Got 'em. Okay, we get to keep my hand. I'm not doing a ton with the hand, but I do get to keep it. Man, that's the second test of strength that they've banished. I've lost 3 Clash cards. I could throw 8 here and not have a Seismic Surge. Doesn't have an on hit. But 2 extra damage is 2 extra damage. We are playing a game of numbers after all. My opponent is going to try and blank my next turn, which makes sense. Alright. When this hits a hero, they lose 4 life. Holy crap. And you have Flick Knives to make it hit? That's awesome. That is so stinking cool. I'm jealous. Wow. Like, I can overblock this as much as I want. They just go again and flick it. And get the 5 life loss. That's really stinking cool. How much do I want to block here is the next question. I'll block 6. Tarantula Toxin is brutal. Okay, they say okay to that. They're going to try and force the next one through. Oh, Command and Conquer. Rude. I really want to keep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to give him a card, which means I'm not using this visit. Unless I take this hit. I know I'm getting flicked, so I'm effectively already pretty low on life here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Just a little bit too low. I do only have to give one card, which is nice. So if I block like that, I can just swing hammer. That sucks. Yep, and then I lose a bunch of life because of the toxicity trigger. Oh. Alright. Hammer for 9, opponent. Hammer for 9. Alright. That's unexpected. When it hits, banish the top card of the deck, you can play it. Yeah, okay. Sure thing, opponent. I don't think I'm milling them out. I think I would rather Arsenal the Peck Perfect after throwing 10. Or Arsenal the Spinal. I don't know, they're getting low on life. I'm gonna block like that. Would you like to take a card from me that you can play? Okay, sure. Banish the top card. You can play it until the end of your next turn. Let's see what you hit. You can play the block card. You cannot block with the block card, but you can play it. That's funny. Cool. You can push it through. You don't actually know what's on top of my deck. I'm still going to need 2 cards to throw this, even with that vigor. Okay. Well, that makes my turn very easy. They've taken all my Clash cards, which is kind of annoying. But I've got a 10-point life lead here. I'm happy to hold on to that. Make my Seismic Surge and come in for 10, force you to do a lot of clashing. I feel like it's about time that I have a Thunk on top of my deck. Anybody up for some Thunks? I think this would be a great time to Thunk. Just Spinal. No Thunk. But I'm also getting in for 5 points of damage, which is no joke. Opponent did not have a great blocking hand there. Playing Remembrance Arsenal Pass? Okay, opponent. I think you're a little bit too in the weeds here. I'm not going to let you live that long. I've only played 1 Visit Goldmane Estate, so I still have 2 more. I can make a Seismic Surge, throw Spinal, Arsenal the Boulder Drop, two Diriacs. Alright, take 1. And then you get a 3-card hand to play with. There's a Trounce. Banish the top 2 cards of my deck. Yeah. Real cute. There's the thunk. There's the thunk. Alright, I know they have that toxicity nonsense on top of their deck. There's just the Nick. Yep, you're going to take some cards from my deck, but you're not... I'm sorry, opponent, but you're not milling me to death. You're at 6. You do not have the defense necessary to survive this onslaught. I am happy to give you a card and a piece of armor. You have your Ponder. You will have an Arsenal. That's fine, because... yeah. Visit Goldmane Estate. Make 7 Might tokens. Make a Seismic Surge. Activate Crater Fist. Boulder drop for 10. I have my Seismic Surge for next turn. All I need is a single blue in order to throw Golden Sun. The Frailty. I'm like, I thought I did the math right. It should be 11. The Frailty makes it 10. That's okay. That's okay. Frailty makes up for the thunk that I got. Okay, this has you taking 4 and putting a card on the bottom, so I'm guessing you have a D-React? Yep. Alright, so you have a 2-card hand to try and slow me down. And stop me from throwing 17 overpower at you. 2 cards, what can they do? Boy, I just don't care about this. Even if you can push it through, it doesn't matter. $15 dominate? Yep. Yep. He could have blocked 3. Oh, no, they could have blocked 6. 7, 8. And gone to -1. Okay. Oh, no. Only 1 card from hand. They only could have blocked 5. I was getting overpower and dominate mixed up. Flippy flopped. Oof. I don't want to play against Kano. Like, I know that there are local players that are playing Kano, but like, there's a chance I run into a Kano at a ProQuest here in a couple weeks, but it's not a fun matchup. Okay, this is actually a matchup I've been wanting to test. Send a message, good luck, have fun. Thrilled to be playing this. Now, I think I want Remembrance. One way or another, I want Remembrance in this. No! Don't leave! Don't leave! I need to test against Florian. Ugh. Marlin, I don't need to test against that bad. I don't know if I want to go first or second here. I'm going to go with second. I don't know if that's right. And this, yeah, I just want all my block cards. I think I want Staunch Response. I should be winning my clashes even without that. Clash of Bravado is not great. It's fine. It can kill a Ponder every now and then. but it's also an extra clash card, and I'm adding whiffs into the deck. Okay, let's see if they play a big attack. If they just do a little attack, I will try and pitch the Test of Strength for second cycle, because having block cards in second cycle is a big deal. Yeah. Say pitch. E-Strike Go Again into Hammer doesn't feel great, but it looks like my best play. I will probably make a Seismic Surge rather than Arsenal either of these. Alright. Well, there's our 9-point life total lead. But they've got a good turn. How are they pitching Eye of Ophidia twice? Didn't they pitch Eye of Ophidia on their turn? They didn't have undos? What on earth? What? I mean, why do I have boots? I want to figure out why they, like, last turn we saw Eye on top of deck. From Quiver. Feel the top card of your deck. Okay. Okay, so they take any card they want. I would like to be able to Arsenal the Spinal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to keep my life total up as much as I can. I guess I can block with Spinal instead of letting them take it. If I block like that. No. We'll block like that. We'll force him to take the Spinal. Leave me with a bad hand. Where I pay the Blood Rot, Pox, and then swing Hammer. I mean, I've still got a life lead. Got rid of one of their 3-of-a-kinds. Opponent plays fast. I love that. I mean, it's hard for me to keep track, but yikes, man. Not having boots is so punishing. It wouldn't quite save me on these turns, but it's going to take the 13. I'll only lose one card. I'm glad they haven't been activating Hook. I've got that going for me. That's just playing it safe a bit. I assume they take Cranial Crush here. I will throw 8 in a different way. Yep, there goes Cranial Crush. Opponent knows the matchup. I'll give him that. And now they have the life total lead. They've got enough golds to really play this game. Whoa, where are my block cards? I had one block card at the start of the game. Okay, this shouldn't be the last King Shark Harpoon, because they just pitched it. No, it is. It's Codex of Frailty. They're getting back King Shark Harpoon. This is so brutal. I feel like I'm just not getting to play this game. They can just choose not to Arsenal if they want. Oh, they are choosing to Arsenal. They might give up the Arsenal, because they have such a big lead. I'm at 3 life. Any overpower attack should kill me. Yep. And this hits non-attack action cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I literally couldn't pay for all of the staunch response if I wanted to. Block 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pass. Pay 2 with my all red hand. Stop the damage. I could make a Seismic Surge. It doesn't help me though. So we pass the turn here, doing nothing. Give them yet another chance to run me over with an overpower attack. They have bonus cards like... Ooh, Amplifying Arrow. That's unexpected. I've only played one pump though so far though. Catch of the Day? Catch of the Day is a pump, I suppose. Okay, they got that on their arsenal somehow. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, and then I pitch the staunch response. Pitch and play the staunch response. Yes. Target myself. Thank you. Okay. I could crack gold and hope there's a blue on top so I can throw Spinal. It's a big, big gamble. I guess it's not that big of a gamble because I can still throw Hammer if I draw a red, which I do. There's the all red hands. No block cards. GG, opponent. They buffed their attack twice. They've given it overpower. Block 3. Take lethal. They get to see my hand. Yeah. Multiple all red hands. Oof, that felt bad. That felt bad. I think that's a matchup that I should win most of the time. Having an extra 3 block in my boot slot certainly would have helped. Not bottoming my test of strength would have helped. Bravo. Bravo. Guess I have a Jarl game plan. Do I switch to hammer? I think I switched to my other hammer. Yeah, I'm not trying to clash. I've got the remembrance. I don't think I need the go again stuff. Doing 61, just to be cheeky. Last time I played against a Bravo, they played grindy, they tried to fatigue me. I kind of expect the same here. This is only 6 damage, so I'm not threatening much. But I'm setting it up so that I only need a single blue in order to throw 9 damage. So there's my single blue. They aren't representing Pummel here, but I'm going to have to give them 3 cards. 3 cards that I would very much like to keep. Maybe not. Maybe not. Like, I'm going to lose clashes to Crippling Crush, like, all the time. Like, that was a good back and forth turn sequence for me. I didn't lose any armor. I blocked 9, sin 9. That's pretty good. Feels pretty good. Did come at the cost of my previous turn, where all I did was attack for 6, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. Those are some bad block 2s. Boy, I want to throw Peck Perfect. It just seems like so much fun. Am I going to lose the clashes? Yeah, probably. It's worth using Seismic Surge here, because I'll draw into something. Save that Test of Strength for second cycle, I guess. Let's see how much my opponent wants to block here. It is risky on both of our parts. Okay, they say no blocks. They say no blocks. Take 9. Okay, they're gonna come in with Dominate. Spinal Crush with Dominate. Boy, do I not care. Boy, do I not care. Let's clash. I've been wanting to clash. Alright, we got a clash. I can't have go again, so I can't activate my tech plating, unfortunately. That's okay. Yeah, not a big deal. Just sending 9. Okay, they've got Hammer for 6. I'm not... No, I do want to use this. I do want to use this. This is also a free block. So we're going to block like that and hopefully kill their Seismic Surge. Nice. Kill their Seismic Surge, make a Might. That's hilarious. We do want to use that because value. Those Mights are going to pay off. We have Remembrance in the deck, so we're going to be getting those Visit the Goldmane Estates back later. Six, but I have no Arsenal. My plan is definitely just going to be to throw a Boulder Drop. I could go again into Boulder Drop. Yeah, this is only 5 points of value on offense. It's 6 points of value on defense. So, okay. Okay, that was unexpected. I should have thought about that. So, Pummel, I'm going to discard this Boulder Drop and just swing Hammer. So, definitely losing out on some value there. But, yeah, that was a good Pummel. I thought about not blocking the Command and Conquer, because it didn't have an on-hit itself. Should have gone for it. Oh my gosh, the number of block twos my opponent has. They're clearly trying to say that, hey, by the way, I'm on 9 Pummel. But... okay, so I'm almost certainly going E-Strike Go again, but I can't do E-Strike Go again into anything. You just throw Thunderquake for 8, spend everything. I could also make a Seismic Surge, throw Clash of Bravado, Arsenal, Arsenal E-Strike. That sounds good. I'm just trying to eke out what value I can. And this seems like good value. I have secured myself a nice little life total lead. That is a bad hand. That is a really bad hand. They have the Pummel, right? Okay, use the Pummel. Yep. And that is going to blank my turn. No, I'm gonna, yeah, because it takes my Arsenal too, yeah. Yep, discard the Pummel, lose the Arsenal. I can make a Seismic Surge or Arsenal this. I think I'm gonna make the Seismic Surge. Terror Sunder's annoying. I'm glad I have my armor. So 1 card from hand and then 2 pieces of armor. They don't have the resources to pummel this. Keep my Seismic Surge dreams alive. Throw Hammer, technically threatening pummel. It's not coming. I just need to maintain my life total lead, to be honest. Okay. Block 6, give you a Quicken. Win the Clash. Yep. Hammer with Go again, and to nothing else. I want to throw Boulder Drop with Pummel. So I can block with Spinal here. Spinal just doesn't have a relevant on-hit. I could have technically thrown Spinal, threaten Pummel. But See how much they block. I'm hoping they block like 6. They just give me 2 cards. That is the hope for sure. Because then even a D-React doesn't save him from the pummel. Yep. Now you need to have 2 D-Reacts to get out of this. 2 D-Reacts or you lose 2 cards. Okay. That is some sweet, sweet value. Their Zealous Beldings have done nothing this game. Absolutely nothing. That's their best play this turn? That's hard to believe. I'm gonna take it. This is risky. They have access to so much Dominate. Oh my gosh. I hate having Remembrance. When you have Remembrance out, Talishar just asks you, do you want to respond? Do you want to respond? Do you want to respond? It's terrible. Like, I get that technically I need to have that, but if you're gonna have me, let me have that, do it all the time, not just when I have Remembrance. Not only does it really show off what I've got, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Command and Conquer Pummel on my opponent's next turn. Wow. Okay. Go again into Command and Conquer Pummel. Okay. Command and Conquer Pummel, you say. Command and Conquer Double Pummel? It could be Double Pummel. Double Pummel wouldn't kill me, but it would hurt a lot. I'm at the point where I need to start throwing these Golden Suns. I have a Seismic Surge, so... No, they can't do double pummel. They can do single pummel, but they can't do double. Okay, they've got a red pummel on top of their deck. Alright, so they're going for the pummel here. We're going to go ahead and use Remembrance to grab the Goldmane Estate and... Jeez, I don't know what else. I guess the Peck Perfects. Okay, shuffled those in. I'm going to be taking 4. Discarding the Spinal. I have a Quicken, which I'm not going to be able to make use of, which is sad, but it's where we're at. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and use this. I wish I found more of my Visit Goldmane Estates, but I only found 1 in the top half of my deck. And then found the Remembrance, tried to hold it until I found another one, didn't find another one, Had to shuffle anyway. Okay, I got a new Quicken. Okay. Block 4. Double pummel. No, they don't have a way to double pummel. Like, a single pummel is gonna deal me 6 and put me to 6. Which is low, but it's not dead. Bummer. But I don't want to reclash when they've got a 9 on top of their deck. Yep, there's pummel. Take 6 down to 6. Mega Seismic Surge. Bugger. I've got a 0 on top of my deck that's going to get milled, I guess. I guess I admit to losing the first clash and mill 1. Nope. I guess we just, no, we sit here and reclash. You with a blue pummel and me with the block card. There's the visit that I wanted all that time ago. You just drew into your blue pummel. Okay. And pitched the blue pummel. You can't have another pummel. I will block the 4. Ah! That sucks so much. Give you another gold. I mean, 10 overpower kills here, right? Make a new Seismic Surge. Throw 10 overpower. Probably kill. If it doesn't, then I'll have Macho Grande next turn. I don't know. This has been a weird game. This has been a very weird game. I haven't been able to make use of my Visit Goldmane estates. I don't know what's been stuck in their arsenal for 15 turns. 14 turns. Good game. I didn't play very well. I got very unlucky on clashes. I still got there because Victor is just the best Guardian. Lyeth. Okay. I don't want the Test of Iron Grip. I do want the Trounces. I want the Remembrance. Pummel is probably fine as the last card. Staunch Response also seems very good. And my opponent's trying to mill me. Oh, and they left. Let's see if they leave yet again. Send them a little good luck, have fun. And they left. Let's see if we find them again. No, Valda. Okay. Valda. I think I want to go second. I need the staunch response. And the clash cards are a lot worse, so we'll go with Pummels. But I don't really want Remembrance. I can try Remembrance. I think it's probably fine. Man, running into a lot of Guardians today. Bravo into Lyeth into Bravo into Lyeth into Valda. Very surprising. I don't want to see Remembrance right now. But, you know, whatever. Buff Power. Nice. I even won with a Golden Sun. That is some sweet turn 1 value. Wait, how did they... make a new Seismic Surge? Didn't I destroy that? Oh, because I drew a card. Right. I drew a card, so you made it. Well, I start with an extra gold. That's cute. Make a Seismic Surge. I'm just gonna send 7 here. No, we're gonna send the full 10. We're gonna use the gold that it made for itself. We're gonna try and put on some pressure. I need to gain and maintain life total lead. If I fall behind, it's so hard to catch back up. Valda is a very powerful Guardian. Civic Peak. Wow. Civic Peak, make me draw a card. If that had been a blue or yellow, I'd be punishing my opponent so hard here. And they played Seismic Eruption, so they will have Dominate here. I can block with Test of Strength and Armor, and I can't draw cards during my turn. That's interesting. That would shut off. Okay. 2 floating. You are representing Pummel. I could overblock by 1. I don't think that's correct. I really don't. I think blocking 4 is fine. Yeah, I'll win the Clash, draw a card. You'll get a Seismic Surge. You play the Pummel. I discard a card that I just drew. I won't draw a card off of this, which means the E-Strike won't be able to do anything, so I should play it and then swing Hammer. Okay. Not great. Opponent evened out the life totals. And really made my turn a lot worse. Civic Peak, man. That is not something I expected to see. I did not expect to see Civic Peak from my opponent. That's kind of wild. Oh my gosh, I milled that? I just milled Seismic Eruption. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Wow. Got lucky there. Wait, what? Okay. Got rid of my pummel, drew me a card. Ends up being a Visit Goldmane estate. At the beginning of your action phase, just no dominate on this. That's nice. The beginning of your action phase, destroy this. Then if you control 3 or more seismic tokens, draw a card, gain a life. So yeah, I want to get rid of that if I can. Which I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. I need to block with 3 cards in order to stop this. So... doesn't matter the order. Ooh, yes. I want to target my opponent. Ties. Dang it. I wanted to win both of those with thunks. That would have been disgusting. Would have been disgusting. Oh well. Alright. Coming in for 8. That is my second Visit Goldmane estate. I have 1 more, and then I need to somehow survive to second cycle. Seems unlikely. And... I don't want to re-clash here. I think I need to, though. There we go. Man, that feels so bad. Got Command and Conquer Pummel if my opponent doesn't interact with me. They gained a life, they drew a card. Opposing Visage, searching out Leyline. I would love to blow up Leyline here. 8 Dominate, and that has a very relevant crush effect. They don't have a pummel, though. So this is the time to give them a piece of armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has me taking 3. I don't think I have anything to worry about here. Dang it! Another tie. I just can't win clashes against them. I want to kill that Leyline, but... Alright, Command and Conquer for 10. I mean, with how much... Having 2 Seismic Surges, my opponent should be able to block with most of their hand, a little bit of armor, and then still get them out of this. God, if they give me Civic Peak here... If they give me Civic Peak and draw me into a blue to let me play Pummel, a blue or yellow... That would be incredible. And actually, I know that I have a blue on top of my deck. Come on, Civic Peak. Come on, Civic Peak. Don't you want 1 more Seismic Surge, opponent? Don't you, don't you? That would be amazing. I know I have a blue 7. Oh, they've got a blue 7 in hand. Man. Targeting my opponent with reclashes, hoping they have something small, is probably a fool's errand. They've got a bunch of crush cards at blue. No, I wanted Civic Peak. I did get a lot of their other armor, though. So doesn't have Go again, it's just here to make some stuff. If they deal damage, they make a Seismic Surge, though. If they deal damage, they make a Seismic Surge. could block with 3 cards and throw hammer. That's not unreasonable. I don't know if that's right. I'm not making use of my own seismic surge here. Finally. Okay. I didn't want him to have dominate on this turn. Okay, E-Strike, go again. I don't care about. Think I just block with Civic Steps. Make use of that while I can. Okay, I'm gonna hammer to make use of that go again, but I now don't really know what they're trying to do with their final card. I can't use all the cards in my hands, but their last card is the one that's going to have a crush effect, if there is one. Spinal. I mean, it does have a crush effect, I suppose. Block 6, throw Boulder Drop. They're going to make another Seismic Surge here if I don't stop it, though. I need to have a turn where I can throw this pummel out of Arsenal. I just haven't been getting that. It's felt so bad. Civic Peak, opponent? You want to give me that Civic Peak? Nope. Okay, I've got a Command and Conquer pummel. That's cute. And I've got the blues and stuff that I need. Yep. Yep, I think I'm taking 8 here. Pretty sure I am taking 8. Because I want to be able to do all my things. Now they can block with Civic Peak pretty safely. You could also just block 10 here and not let me use my pummel. They've got so many Seismic Surges. There's the Civic Peak. Makes sense. Oh, Civic Peak and Testament to put them up to 5 Seismic Surges, right? That's the... No, it needs 6. It needs 6. Okay. They could have, like, a Crash and Bash, which would put them up to 6. I know I'm taking a big Dominate attack on my next turn. I've got a little bit of armor. 4 armor, and then a card in hand for 5, 6, 7. I can block 7 or 8 of the damage. That should be enough to stop most things. Yep, we are playing the pummel. I guess I could have kept the Thunderquake and had a chance to heave it. Looks like they had a Terror Sunder in Arsenal. Guess I put the Cranial Crush in Arsenal. I don't like it. Okay, that doesn't bother me too much. 9 Dominate. I'm going to be getting +3. And main thing I don't like about the Dominate is I can't convert this hand. So, since I can't convert the hand well, I'm going to be throwing Peck Perfect because it's more damage. It's the most damage I can throw. I'm not going to be making a Seismic Surge. That's not the worst case scenario. I think my opponent can pretty safely block and count on me having to spend gold or mill cards. I doubt they could convert a 5-card hand if they took this anyway. If they did, I'm probably dead. But no. I'll mill a card. And I know you have a red on top of your deck. Staunch Response is a nice thing to see. Gains Dominate, and when it hits, destroying equipment with a -1 counter on it. That's very annoying. 7, 8, 9, I can stop it. It means I give them a Quicken, and I'm not having a great turn. But I'm throwing Lethal, so it's not the worst turn. Alright. Threaten Lethal. This Arsenal feels really bad. Like, having to keep 2 cards. I really want my Arsenal to be relevant whenever I have to do a big blocking turn. And the Arsenal is a way to still do something relevant. 2 Seismic Surges is not 3. This could be a good turn for me. Hammer. Super annoying start. Because that does have an on hit, right? Every time they deal damage, they get a Seismic Surge. I don't have a way to stop it. Okay. I get a Might. I get a Might, you get a Seismic Surge. And I get a Might, you get a Seismic Surge. Alright. I could have blocked with Boulder Drop instead of the second Clash of Might, and then use the 2 blues to throw my Arsenal. It'd still be for 9 damage. But, oh, giving me a Quicken. That means they must have a way to take cards from me. They must have a decently damaging turn. Maybe not the most. Wait. Yeah, D-React then. 5 block D-React even. Alright, take 2 down to 1? That's really sketchy, opponent. Oh, cute. Very cute. Yep. Oh, God. Sure, they can make a token before I do. And then I staunch, and then throw 9. It's not how I want to be using Staunch, but it's fine. And yeah, I'm not making use of the Quicken. I would make use of the Quicken if I had... No. No way to make use of that Quicken. But we're coming in for 9, and my opponent's at 1. I'm out of Staunch responses. If they have a way to get a third Seismic Surge, then I am probably dead. That should be 6. Yeah, Testament of Valhai. Or, yeah. Valhai is not getting... has only gotten 1 point of block value so far. Okay. Giving 3 cards. They're keeping 1 card, which means I'm guessing they're just swinging Hammer. Yep. Swinging Hammer. So I can block with 2 cards, or block with a card and shield. Block with a card and shield, which means Leyline is finally gone. Draw 2 cards with Riches of Tropeldani. Make a Seismic Surge. Throw Spinal, keep the Test of Strength. It might punish me, but I mean, I'm taking 9 cards from my opponent here. I'm pretty sure I used all my, used all my Goldmane estates, but I should be getting close to, what's it called? Remembrance. Okay, I expect to see Hammer, which I will block with Test of Strength. Wow. Wow. Put them in their place and Tear Asunder is a big deal. Yep, there's the Remembrance. There's the Hammer. I don't want to shuffle those in because I want to win this clash, actually, not lose it. There we go. I won the clash. I'll get those back, but I don't think it's going to matter because we're just going to throw Macho Grande. I don't know how I won that game. I felt like I was losing the entire time. So, not really sure. Not really sure what happened. I guess they only got to use Seismic Eruption once. That's a big deal. And what else? Seismic Eruption only came once. I milled another Seismic Eruption. Now they're just now finding the other one. And I just had the lead on the turns that it mattered, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to keep offering to play whoever wants to. I'm just getting reps in with my deck. Dory. Alright. I should have a similar build to when I'm up against Syndra. Just running all my Clash cards. I don't need D-Reacts. And I don't need Pummels. I can try them. Oh, my opponent has left. Okay. Let's see if someone else shows up. Okay. Verdance. Verdance is a tough matchup. I've got my AB3. I've got my Pummels. I'm trying to go hard. I'm trying to go fast. They disconnected. No one wants to play against Victor today? like to go first. Alright. I want to arsenal that. No, I want to get in for damage here. We're going to come in for 8 dominate on turn 0. Leak 5 points of damage. And be happy with the lead that we've gained. Okay, we're thrilled that they are playing an attack. It's for 7. So we block 6, take 1. Clash. Ugh. We tie. We are not reclashing, unfortunately, because all we have is a shield. And we unfortunately also just saw our visit go to the bottom of the deck. Not great. Not great. And I have a Command and Conquer on top now. Okay, they pitched fruits to get back up. They skipped their arsenal. That's surprising. I'm not sure what they could have in hand that they don't want in their arsenal. Just be a random blue, I guess, but at that point, why not use Waning Moon? This is a terrible hand. I'd like to arsenal a pummel. Oh my god. Jeez. Quad red hands when my opponent does Arcane. Well, there goes the life total lead. I am going to AB3 with 3 reds. It feels terrible. Okay. Yep. Gonna AB0 on this. They get to make up the life total lead, and hopefully they can't convert a 4-card hand against me. I don't know. That's kind of my hope here. Or it forces them to play an attack action card. Nope. Their action is... Wow. Okay, we will pay AB3. Alright, they didn't use their whole hand. I was right on that. Okay. I'm happy with 5 go again into hammer. It's not perfect, but it's something. Yep, de-react, decompose. Chipping them down a little bit. They haven't put any pots into play yet, which is something. I doubt it'll stay that way. Actually taking the 4. Alright, I'm happy to get rid of a Heartbeat of Candlehold, and the Might is just a nice little bonus. Alright, I lose my pummel, but it's not the worst thing, to be perfectly honest. What are these clashes, man? What are these clashes? Oh. I thought I can see a gold here. I guess that's a Might. This clash luck has been abysmal. And now I have nothing I can do because I didn't get to draw a card off that. Wow. not off to a good start. Destroy a Plow Under, which I'm not even thrilled about. Like, yeah, it's damage that they would otherwise deal to me. Let's see, what am I doing on my turn? If I pitch that, then I can throw Disable. Okay. Yeah, my opponent is getting a lot of intellect penalty. Doesn't seem to bother them too much, but it is happening. And I'm not sure what their reason behind it is. But if I'm not having efficient turns, then they certainly don't need to. Okay, that's very confusing. And now watch him take another intellect penalty. Yeah, this feels like they're just trying to see how much they can get away with. How good this matchup really is. Because they're not online and they just... That felt very wrong. That felt very, very wrong. Alright, there goes a Light Up the Leaves. Is my opponent worried about running out of cards yet? Are they just going to get that Light Up the Leaves back? Nope. Okay. Put that on the bottom. Block like that. Take one. Demand some cards from my opponent, finally. They can't just let me kill them. Unfortunately, I just put a Peck Perfect on the bottom of my deck, and I think I've put another one on the bottom on the turn that I had 4 reds. Sure. Alright. I milled 2 very relevant cards from you. Mental Block, sure. Nope. Opponent gets a Mite. There's a very good chance they can't use it next turn. Yeah, never winning a clash, never getting a gold this game is pretty brutal. That's really tough. But it feels like my opponent just doesn't care about what I'm doing. And to be fair, I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm applying some pressure, but not very much. I'm instead counting on my AB to keep me alive long enough, and had to pitch a bunch of reds to AB, so... Let's see if they can use that might this turn. They sure can. Coming in for 7. No on hit. Okay. Block 6, take 1. I'll send Hammer Arsenal to Zealous Belting. I'm not happy about it, but I think you might be out of Plow Unders. Or you only have 1 left. Yeah, looks like you have 1 Plow Under left. Okay. It's a really strange game. Opponent is acting like they are in complete control and that this is a free matchup, and it might be. Okay. Healing Potion pass. Healing Potion Waning Moon pass. Yep. Really frustrating. But yeah, they still have so much armor. Like, they could give their 3 pieces of armor this turn and then combo me. I doubt that's going to happen, but they have that line available to them. I hate that 8 life feels like enough. I hate this Goldmane estate doesn't do anything. Okay, that's their last Plow Under. Arsenals are now safe. Technically, they can have Command and Conquer, but... that's surprising. You trying to combo this turn? You've got 3 potions. That should be enough. I don't have... Oh, that's very strange. Do you not have Decompose available? It seems unlikely with 17 cards in your graveyard. Okay. Choosing not to play the Felling of the Crown that you have access to. I mean, if you... Okay, block 6, take 2, get a Might. Maybe? Nope. No Mights for me. Yeah, playing this game without gold is really sucky. I've had no gold tokens this game. I have not created a single one. And it says my opponent's at 6 life, but with as much healing as Verdance has available to her, I'm going to have to throw a lot of damage to get the kill. And without... We have a meeting in 20 minutes. No, we don't. Oh, is that for Matt, actually? It probably is. Healing Potion, Waning Moon, pass. Oh, not even bothering with the Waning Moon. Alright, this is how I started the game. A non-powered up Macho Grande. Put you down to 2. Got one more Macho Grande somewhere. I've got overpower attacks available to me. Yeah, Rich as a Triple Donny got put on the bottom by a Trounce. I couldn't have kept it on top if I wanted to. So... things are looking bad. Command and Conquer might buy me a turn if my opponent doesn't combo me here. Okay. Playing that and passing? Surprising. Command and Conquer is the card that's most likely to give me something. So that's what we're gonna go with. We get to Arsenal the Boulder drop, save the Clash of Bravado to maybe somehow kill the tree. Seems unlikely. I feel very dead here. Yeah, they're cracking healing potions. I'll pay what AB I can, but pretty sure I'm dead. The extra 3 amp is not going to make the difference this turn. Rampant Growth. Opponent is clearly not going to be throwing a Felling of the Crown this turn. Getting that extra amp, huh? Sure. I mean, I'm not dead. The source is Arcane Twining. Alright, I'll pay AB1, take 9. Throw the Boulder drop. My opponent no longer has the Healing Potion combo available to them. I don't know how they mathed wrong. I don't really get that. Felling, that's fine. Put that on the bottom. Block 6, take... Ugh. If I take 2, I go down to 8. I guess I'm I'm going into Storm Strider's range either way. I can stay out of Storm Striders by never pitching this blue. That doesn't feel like a winning game plan either. So we'll see if they have the Storm Striders kill right now. It looks like they do. They did have to draw into it, but they didn't have very many cards, so... Okay, they took the damage. We got the clash. Not doing anything with that clash because I just have these block cards I can't use. Oh, you're going to let me block? How kind of you. It's going to be 8. I can block 9 here. Clash. Finally get a gold. Took forever. Yeah, I'm just going to make a Seismic Surge. I do want to build up golds a little bit, and if I draw blue, I can throw Headbutt for 7, which is lethal. Yep. Headbutt for 7. Okay, we're doing okay. This isn't a... Oh, they're going for the Storm Striders. Opponent, what are you doing? Yes, pay for the Storm Striders, then... Oh, yeah, Burn Bear and... I do not have AB available. I've used all my resources. Yep. Now, they had the light up with the leaves, too. So... I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't be able to win that matchup when I draw as poorly as I did there. My opponent played poorly enough that I probably should have grinded and tried to play tight and pull through, and I didn't. So, I don't know. Mistakes on me. I was getting very... I get tilted when I lose non-stop clashes. When I go into third cycle and never win a clash, never create a gold, that tilts me. I need to lock down and actually play right, especially once my opponent did the combo and didn't deal me enough damage, right? I need to try and take advantage of those moments. Drawing 2 cards off of the gold could have been the answer. That would have left me with the blue to pay for the AB. I don't know. I've got some meetings coming up. I'm not going to have time to play another full game. Let's go ahead and pull up, not this deck list, let's pull up the CC deck list that I've been playing with today. You can find this deck list either below the video on YouTube, or you can find it by typing !CC deck. Not sure why it's taking so long to load up. Yeah, Trounce didn't feel very good. There's just some games against Verdance where it feels like they never attack. And I don't have a very clean way to punish that. Because I can only run 3 Enlightened Strikes. Looking over on this deck, I'm not exactly sure what else I can do to help against Verdance. No, I do know exactly what I can do to help against Verdance. I can have... Poison the Well. I can just hold Poison the Well in hand. Alright, that's something I'll consider. Maybe if I get some more games in this week, I can test it out. I doubt I'm going to buy a Poison the Well, but we'll see how things go. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will talk to you all tomorrow whenever I stream again. Bye.